Summer's end, signal school start. It is almost go time for students all across the city, including Aldine ISD. Hello there, I'm Mia Gradney. And joining me now for another installment of the Superintendent Talk series is Dr. LaTonya Goffney with Aldine ISD. So good to have you with us for another Superintendent Talk and another school year.
I'm excited to be here. I can't believe time has gone by so fast. It seemed like we had our last one recently, but it's been over a year.
That's just how quick time goes. Aldine ISD has a special place in Houstonians' hearts, and especially people who live there as well.
Absolutely. When you think about the fact that there's no Aldine, Texas, but if you've ever flown to the Intercontinental Airport, Bush Intercontinental, you were in the middle of Aldine, 111 square miles of opportunity, and we're really excited about the new school year. We recently celebrated our new teachers, and that's always exciting as you welcome our new teachers. And when you think about it, Aldine started in 1935, and so we're turning 90 this year. So that's going to be a huge celebration as we work to get our hashtag Aldine story out.
A different kind of history lesson for students there. 90 years of the school district and teaching and setting kids up for success there.
Just amazing. We've had amazing superintendents, amazing leaders, amazing teachers. I mean, we stand on a strong foundation and excited about the future of Aldine ISD.
That's wonderful. Aldine ISD has seen a lot of transition through the years, and with transition, of course, comes some decisions and sometimes things that are hard for the community to receive. I know that Aldine had to close some schools and that this year you're embarking on students going to different campuses. Parents wanted to know, how are you preparing students who are transitioning campuses this school year?
Oh gosh, I'm telling you, it's a process that we've been going through for years, just looking at making sure that we're able to optimize the student experience. And so last year, due to declining enrollment and other things, we closed 3 schools, and this year we closed 6 schools. And what I can tell you is the way we've done it is been with all of the voices at the table and being able to share and communicate and be open and transparent about the process. And we're really excited to be at this point, because when we think about where we started, because everyone loves, the school that they were,
their home
school that they were going to, and thankfully most of them are going to be traveling like a mile or 2 over, and we've already had events to welcome them, because that's the difference. They want to know who's going to be their principal, who's going to be their teachers, and in many areas, some of the teachers went with the students. So teachers won't change, but it'll be a newer building in all cases, a newer building, a higher performing school, and so we're really proud of that. We're also proud that we were able to retain over 96% of the teachers. So that's settled, because that's teachers are where the magic happens. And if the students have a great teacher, they're going to have a great experience. And so we've been working to make sure we get the communication out, making sure they know about transportation. We've had all kinds of meetings for our stakeholders. We have a FAQ online, and just are continuing to answer questions as quickly as we can so that everyone knows where they're going to be and what to expect on day one.
Teachers help with that transition too.
Absolutely.
The nerves that are involved there, the uncertainty as well.
Absolutely.
Both for parents and students.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so as we think about the campuses, though, like literally last year before the kids went home, that was important for us. We wanted to make sure that they had seen their campus, met their new principal, knew their teachers, and would be excited about coming back to something that was more that they knew about. So we had not only activities for the parents, but even in the evening times, opportunities for the students, and they have swag and paraphernalia and all kinds of things with their new school. So I think the transition has been great, and it's evident by the fact that we were able to retain the teachers, and last year we were able to retain the students. And we'll know on Monday how we've been able to retain the students. So we're very optimistic about the process.
Now, these schools closed in part due to declining enrollment. Do you worry about losing even more students over time, and especially looking down the road at educational savings accounts and families being able to have a choice as to where their students attend?
Since 2018, when I arrived in Aldine, my goal was to make sure that we were the best choice for the students that we served. And when you mentioned choice, we wanted to make sure that we prepare our kids not only for to graduate with a basic high school diploma, but also graduate with choices and opportunities. And we knew those choices and opportunities began today in Aldine. And so as we think about what choice means, it's become more prevalent post-COVID. And so we work very diligent, very hard to make sure that we're the best choice for the students that we serve.
And so what are some of those choices that you're offering? What is Aldine ISD doing to retain students? Families want to know.
literally retaining teachers, as I stated earlier. We are one of the largest TIA districts in the state that basically every single teacher has the opportunity to earn TIA, and that's the teacher incentive allotment. Those are high-performing teachers from recognized to master's teachers, and so we're really excited when I say the largest percent is because every single teacher in Aldine has an opportunity to become a TIA designated teacher. And so I say all the time that you have to have great school board members, you have to have great principals, you have to have a great superintendent, but you must, without any reservation, have the best teachers. And so we're investing in our teachers and making sure that they're there. In addition, we're making sure that students want choice. They do. And so in our lowest performing schools, they want to be in a higher performing school. 6 years ago, we launched ACE at our 2 lowest performing schools, and now those are 2 of the highest performing campuses. And so we're dealing and taking bold action at campuses that are lower performing. And then we're also providing different choices in those programs, whether it is coding or single gender, Young Women's Leadership Academy, or Young Boys Impact Leadership Academy. We also at the high school level have all kinds of choice, including when you think about high school, you can have a traditional experience in our neighborhood schools, but you can also have an experience whether you want to go to Victory Early College, which is one of the highest rated schools in our not only our district and region, or Blanton CTE school, or if you want to go to Carver Magnet High School, amazing fine arts program. Or recently, last year, we launched NIMITS, the HEAL program, Health Education and Learning, through a grant with the Bloomberg Foundation as well as Memorial Hermann. And so we're constantly trying to evaluate and work with and do interviews with students and ask them what kind of choices are they interested in, and then working in a diligent effort to make sure that we're able to create those different choices in Aldine ISD.
Within those choices, is Aldine ISD an open enrollment school district, meaning if there's an opening at one of the schools within the district and that's where your child wants to be, they can attend that school?
And so it's a lottery, but it is a pretty open lottery. Like literally, if you can do it anywhere, you can do it everywhere. When we talk about Aldine specifically, we know that schools where the magic happens. We serve a lot of school-dependent children, and so we want to make sure that they have access to quality programming. And so it's not like you have to score a certain amount in order to get in one of our programs. Our schools are even, like literally anyone can come, and so we're really excited about the ones who choose a choice, but we also want to make sure that their neighborhood schools are a good choice as well, and so we're working to improve those as well and have a lot of exciting things this year. We've been able to improve our STAR results, which also gets the information out, improve our accountability, which also gets positive information out so that parents can feel proud of their schools, which is what we want.
Yes, and having choices within their home school, their neighborhood school, I
Absolutely,
should say.
absolutely. Like NIMITS, the HEAL program is on the campus. In the past, our students at the specialty high schools could earn an associate's degree. In Aldine, you can earn an associate's degree on any one of our high school campuses. Through a partnership with Lone Star, we started a College for All program. And so we had our first students at Eisenhower, Davis, who graduated their associate's degrees. It's pretty common, again, at Victory Early College, Rose Avalos P-Tech, Blanton CTE, but in those traditional comprehensive high schools, we want to make that the reality. So our goal is to make sure that every kid, before they leave us, graduates with choices and opportunities, and that begins by making sure they have access to college level courses. And so we're really excited about how that's working out as well.
Mm-hmm. I know you talked about the significance and the importance of teachers in retaining students. So do you have enough teachers this school year?
Listen, remember when we talked about that question a couple of years ago, I told you there's a war for talent. And I recognize that. I absolutely do, that it continues to exist not only here in Houston, but across the state and across the country. We have conversations about the number of people who are entering into the field of education. I think back to Sam Houston State University, which is known for preparing teachers.
Mm-hmm. Eat 'em up cats, by the way. We're both alumni.
So I recently was a commencement speaker, and I was looking for the graduates that were going to be teachers, and I was disheartened, not because of anything Sam Houston had done, but because of the lack of interest in becoming a teacher. And it was evident you had more teachers who were earning their masters to go into some type of leadership program than you were those who were entering into education. And I think that we as a society have to own a piece of that, because education teachers were once lauded as the superheroes that we know that they are. And so there is a little level of discomfort there nationally and also locally and regionally and so on and so forth. However, I am proud that we are 96% staffed, and post-COVID, at one point it was hit or miss, and so really thankful that every single school on day one, most of our schools are 100% staffed, and so we're really excited about what that means for our students, because that means the teachers are prepared to welcome every kid on the day one.
Okay. I want to get back to the biggest concern for parents who took part in the KHOU 11 Back to School survey, the new personal communication devices ban, AKA the cell phone ban. We asked parents, do you support the cell phone ban? 53% responded yes, while 47% said no. Are you surprised by these numbers?
I'm not surprised. When you think about the push, I think I was a baby superintendent then in 2008, when we remember bring your own device, that was a huge deal. And at that time you had the creation of cell phones and iPads and all the different things. Smartphones became popular, and basically it was a computer device that kids could use instructionally to learn. And so a lot of schools didn't have one-to-one technology at the time. And so since then, the pendulum has swung for many reasons. And so when I think about House Bill 1481, while it is the law, and of course we're going to be compliant with the law, the thing that I'm proud of in Aldine, because it's been a priority to protect instructional time, our high schools had already been doing something similar anyway. Cell phones had to be put up during instructional time. Now, 1481 specifically states that you cannot have the phones on the campus on at any time, and so of course we're going to be in compliance with the law, but we're going to treat it like we do any other expectations. The expectation is the expectation, because what we don't want to do, because we work so hard to create a strong sense of belonging, because that's a priority for us, and to make sure that our students feel welcome, to make sure that we restore the joy of learning. And so we don't want to police cell phones, and I'm thankful, because of the work that we've done in the past, that we won't have to do that. And so literally it's just going to be the expectation is the expectation, and conversations and working with the parents to make sure that we're in compliance with the law and that we protect instructional time.
So what are the expectations? Because there are school districts that are banning them on campus, and then there's also school districts that are saying you just need to have them stored away and powered off. So what are the expectations in Aldine ISD?
Oh, I see what you're saying, because in my mind those were two of the same.
Right, exactly.
Banning them on campus or stored away. So literally you can have your phones on the bus, transportation. The minute you walk into a campus, the phone has to be stowed away. We're going to treat them as adults and prepare them for life. And so we're not going to be taking, I don't want to talk about anything anyone else is doing, because I'm sharing the experience that we've had. So it's going to be expected that the phone is put up the entire school day. And then
this is lunch, this is in the halls.
This is in halls and everything. We're going to be in compliance with the law. And then after school, for different events, whether it's extracurricular for fine arts or for sports, then you can have your phones at that time.
What about if a parent needs to be in communication with their child, or the other way around? They want to know, how can I be in communication with my student?
Well, I'm very proud too that we have a strong counseling staff, as well as an administrative staff on every campus, but working with the counselors in different ones. And one of the priorities for us is to make sure we have strong parent-school partnerships and having a conversation, calling and just making sure that we're aware, because I know different things happen, life happens.
Right.
And just like it was before cell phones, you're able to go to the office and ask to make a call, and then in the event that you want to contact your kid, we're able to call the kid to the office to take a call.
Will there be any leniency, since it is a new rule, a new law?
For us, the leniency comes in the fact that we already had the expectation last year, and so it's about making sure and level setting it for the entire district. So all of our high schools, cell phones had to be put away, and long story short, that's the expectation. And so it's going to be like if you're wearing a hat in a building, or if you do anything else, one of the things we have is Teach Like a Champion. And so we are very excited about the thresholding and all the different things when kids come in, and again, making them engaged in the classroom experience immediately. And so if anyone is off task, then it's going to be a conversation and address. But it's not going to be, like, we're not going to fight about it. We're going to say, the phones has to be put up.
Right. Has Aldine ISD established its code of conduct or consequences
Absolutely.
around the cell phone ban already?
Absolutely. So the code of conduct is clear, and basically there's, I feel like ours respects the fact that this is the expectation, and also respects the respect we're trying to basically make sure that the teacher has with the student. And so cell phones that are out will be confiscated, but it'll be confiscated by an administrator. So we're not going to have the teacher at war. So literally, if the teacher sees it, she's going to report it to the principal, and it's going to be confiscated. However, before we get to that point, there'll be numerous opportunities, because many times, think about it, most of them this entire summer have had their cell phones glued
right
to
there.
them. And so I know that at the beginning, just like I was on a campus yesterday, we had 80 schools started, and the week before we had ADSY start. And so the teachers were setting up and reviewing the expectations. And kids may get off because they're not accustomed to not talking while the teacher's talking. So you have to remind them you can't talk. So if they accidentally bring, oh, miss, I'm sorry, and put it up.
If they accidentally leave it on their desk, it's a reminder.
It's a reminder. And then, but you're only going to get so many reminders. Because then it's not necessarily a reminder. So,
right.
So the expectation is the expectation. And what you'll see the first few weeks of school or the first few days of school is the fact that the teachers are setting those expectations and students understanding what the consequences according to the code of conduct for not meeting those expectations.
Let's move on to another topic. A parent had asked about bullying and says bullying still remains a concern. One parent writes, every child deserves to be safe from bullies at school. Why are bullies not punished? And what about the alternative disciplinary school? So what is the district's policy regarding bullying and consequences?
Bullying is absolutely not okay. Like, people will be surprised because they see how I show up now, but my experience, I'm mostly focused on the positive and all the great things that I had through great teachers and so on and so forth. But you know, in school, I was bullied like all the time, relentlessly. And so I take it very serious, and so does my team.
It's personal to you.
It's very personal, just called names and so on and so forth. But what I do know is the fact that it's unacceptable. And one of the things that we have established in our school is just expectation. There's no place for it, for one. And we also have set up, if you see something, say something. And we have a form online where you can go and anonymously report it. But the irony, though, about what happens in our district, and we have studied it for some time, as we look annually at the number of bullying incidents, we have very few bullying incidents in our school. What typically happens, and it connects to what we talked about earlier, which is perhaps one of the best things about House Bill 1481, is most of the time the bullying starts with some type of phone, social media, or starts at home, and then it's brought over into the school. Very seldom, if ever, do we have something that starts primarily at the school. However, we take responsibility to addressing it regardless of where it starts. We have to work with both families to get the information and so on and so forth. But I certainly understand and agree with all of our parents out there that there's no place for bullying. We want our kids to feel like they belong. We want them to be connected. We want them to feel inspired, because we ultimately want them to show up as their best so that they can graduate with choices and opportunities.
And their question about the alternative disciplinary school, if things escalate to that point, I assume that's an option within consequences.
Absolutely. We have a student code of conduct, and depending on the nature of the offense, alternative school is an option. We also have a police department who reviews and makes sure that the law hasn't been broken, and that's an option as well. So we process the fullest extent possible, especially for those bullying cases that you sometimes see on the news.
I can imagine that bullying gets hard to investigate as well, though, and I don't want to say police, but monitor, because as you said, if it's happening off campus, that is off campus and essentially out of your jurisdiction.
It is, but we work really closely with our families, and while it may start off campus, it may start on social media, but then many times it'll end up in the lunchroom. But when you go and you do the research, it started at home, or it started at the park, or it started somewhere outside of school, but at some point it shows up because they have to see each other, and so we want to make sure that when they see each other, we're respectful to each other, and there's no bullying happening at school, and anything that's happening that is against the law, that we're able to take care of it and address it.
We've asked what's new, what's changed, but another parent, they ask about changes within the district. What are you going to change? And I know there's a long-term plan. You've talked about that, that's been established. What are those changes? What's ahead for the school district?
I'm really excited about this year. I say it every year, but I'm confident that this is going to be the best year yet. When I think about our growth, we know that accountability, the system changed in 2023, the STAR was reset and all of that, and so 2023 was our baseline. And then we had 2024 and 2025 results that are going to come out next week. But our preliminary data is showing that we have really focused in on post-COVID of closing those gaps, and also with our high quality instruction materials, with our, putting students first in our strategic plan, and our plan for accelerating outcomes, which is not change. It's not change, but we're going to really hone in on it. I told the new teachers, and I say it all the time, we're not responsible for how kids come to us, but we are responsible for how they leave us. And when I said earlier, when we think about the fact that over nearly 90% of our students are considered economically disadvantaged. And we also think about the fact that 100% of our schools are Title I schools. School is where the magic happens. And so we have to be hyper-focused, continue to be hyper-focused on growing every single child. And we can't just grow by 1 year, because unfortunately, if we only grow by 1 year, we'll never catch up with the state. And so we are truly demonstrating what's possible for Black, Brown, and students of poverty, and it's evident in every single classroom by our focus on our implementation of HQIM, our CBPLs, and making sure we have teachers who are supported, and the fact that we are assessing kids and then progress monitoring to make sure that they're growing. We want our parents to know that we have to accelerate growth, and they're all bought into that, and they're making sure and keeping up with the data. And then when it gets to the summative time, for the STAR test or whatever test, SAT, ACT, whatever test, we're seeing the growth, and that excites me so much. When I think about the elementary schools, and it's come out, literally for literacy, that's been a piece for me, because we know reading is so important.
It's essential.
It's essential. I told you in the past that my grandfather couldn't read. He wrote his name with an X, and so he used to say, Tanya, if you can read, you can go anywhere. So we know that literacy opens the door for choices and opportunities, and so we're seeing the gains in literacy. We had historical gains last year, so excited about that. We had the largest gains in the Houston area and across the state, so really excited about the work we're doing in literacy, so we got to continue to accelerate, so we have to do it again. And so, but continue to be hyper-focused on that. We say all the time, I've said it since day one, we want the students to graduate with choices and opportunities. And so in 2021, we had 45% of our students who were graduating CCMR.
What's CCMR?
It's college, career, and military readiness.
Thank you.
It's the choices and opportunities after you graduate. So we want every single high school to graduate 100% of our students who are CCMR. And so with this current class, I'm really excited. I know our data person is like trembling in her boots because she knows I'm going to say it, but this year we're already over 90%, and so for next year's accountability, that's going to be very important. But for last year, so from 2021 to 2024, which is what our accountability is going to be based off, we've gone from 45% to over 80%. So the work that's happening. And while you see CCMR, what I see are kids who've earned dual credit, whether through Lone Star College, on-ramps, Houston Community College, but they're getting that advanced opportunities that's going to be absolutely critical and essential for them when they graduate. When I think about the industry-based certifications, we have nearly tripled our number of students who are graduating with industry-based certificates. Excited about that. When I think about some of our programs that are at our traditional high schools, did you know that we have a high school, Davis, Benjamin O. Davis? I think I may have told you about this, but literally we have an aviation program where our kids are flying airplanes. Now, I'm not getting on the airplane, and I'm sure you won't either.
That's phenomenal, though, that they have that opportunity
at
this point in age and stage in life.
Absolutely, and those are things that, being nearly 50 and growing up in the 90s, we didn't have those kinds of choices and opportunities. And thinking about the other choice where we've added with HEAL, the fact that we have kids who said that they've never even met a nurse, that now has a nurse as a mentor as a freshman, has spent the entire summer and is going to spend the next 4 years making sure that they're prepared to be a nurse. That's exciting. So those are the types of things that we're doing in Aldine and that we're excited about, and that we're going to continue to build those types of opportunities so that our kids can access the American dream.
And do you think having those opportunities will help with retention, make the district look attractive, especially when it's having to ultimately compete with other schools?
Oh, and it's absolutely more critical, as you stated earlier, about the ESAs and all of that. What we've also looked at is we've looked at our numbers and thought about it, like I get tickled at this because the demographer said it best, like our people aren't having babies in our area. They're just not. And so we're graduating larger classes that are entering. So there's some decline that is just the nature of the fact that you have smaller classes coming up. we're also landlocked. We literally don't have the space. Growing communities, you don't have a lot of rooftops that are going up. And after the tax floods and different things, a lot of apartments went offline. And so that is a reality. And so the only thing that we can do is think about the things that we can control, and that is making sure that our schools are continuing to get better and getting better faster by accelerating student growth, and also creating those choices and opportunities that make our students want to stay with us, because it's not an experience they would have if they go anywhere else.
In closing, what are your hopes and message for students this school year?
Listen, I am super excited about this year. I didn't want us to not deal with the reality of how COVID hit so drastically in our area. And so now we can finally move forward as we think about us bouncing back and getting in the groove of things. The other thing I want to make sure is that we want to have more joy. We want to just enjoy learning. We want to make sure that students have more opportunities. Really excited about our bond that was passed, which we're going to build Education Performing Arts Center, which I can't wait for you to cover, hopefully. But what I'm thankful for is, of our 58,000 kids, over 50,000 of our kids participate in some type of fine arts. Our kids are amazingly talented, and so we want to continue to showcase that. And we want them to just be focused on not just what they're going to not be able to do. I won't have my cell phone. I want them to be excited about the fact that they're going to have this amazing teacher who's preparing all summer for their arrival.
Well, we wish the students the best of luck. Much continued success to you, the teachers, the staff at Aldine ISD. We certainly appreciate your time with us as well, Dr. Goffney. And we thank you for watching this installment of your Superintendent Talk series.